When mounting this unit, you want to have it as high as possible and away from any other metal objects. So my plan, my idea, is to mount it somewhere in this general area, maybe even over there. But I am going to run the cables to get inside the camper through the refrigerator vent. So I'm going to start by undoing all this. I'm going to get the cable routed, everything inside first, and then I'll mount it somewhere up here on the roof. The hardest part is done, which is routing this cable. That is the absolute hardest part of the whole thing that took the most time so far. But here's what I did. I have the cable ran over there. I'm gonna mount the antenna somewhere over on that side where it's more open. And then I ran this through the vent, put a little hole, ran it straight down, and it popped out right here. And then ran it along the bottom, drilled a hole down into the floor, which I will silicone that. And then that runs to the floor of the inside of the camper, which is where we're going now. So I had to take this panel off right here that hides this corner with all the wires. These are wires for inside. This is a propane hose that goes to the fridge. And then that hole I drilled comes out below here on the floor. And then this is the wire to the HiBoost. Ran that down, or it comes through here. Then it pops out right through here where I have the battery and everything else. And then all the excess of that wire is just shoved up underneath this floor. Just back up underneath here where there's a bunch of excess of all these other wires back there too. I'm mounting the antenna on the far left side of my camper. They've provided that bracket right there where the cable comes out of the antenna, a little spring, so in case you hit a tree branch or something, it kind of springs back so it doesn't break it. And then the mount, which you can turn that knob and angle it, I'm gonna have it straight up. So I put the putty tape they provided. I have some screws left over from some other projects I'm gonna use to screw it down. And later on, once I'm finally done for the day and everything's buttoned up, I'll come back up here and seal it up with some die-core and call it good. And then the wire, I have some like little zip ties with screws. I can kind of zip tie this down, and then that'll run all the way back over here to the fridge. Screw that back down, put the cap on, and I'm pretty much done on top of the roof until I get ready to seal that up. Here's how I routed everything inside the camper. So I have the booster box right here. This is just in between my lithium ion battery and the wall right here. It's secure in there, it's not gonna go anywhere. You have your outside cable running into right over in here. You'll have these 3 lights on when you first plug it in. That center one's flashing, which means I'm connected to the device. This is your DC power, and then this is your antenna cable. And I have my antenna cable ran up through here, kind of back out, up in here, and I have it ran along the back of the dinette right here. So this is your DC power in. I have your DC cable coming out. I have it ran to a power bank right here. And it's only pulling like 12 watts. It's not pulling much at all. Now let's go test and see if this HiBoost is actually worth the money. Does it actually boost the signal? We're about to find out. It's been a few weeks since I've installed everything for the HiBoost, and it's taken me a few weeks to kind of adjust things and get used to it and figure out the best operating areas for this and understand how to use it. It's not difficult, it's not complicated, but this truck camper is a small space and these antennas have to be so far apart. And when I say that, this is what I mean. So the outside antenna is roughly somewhere right in here where the bed area is. And the indoor antenna I had originally put up on this little shelf right here. Then I also thought about putting it down in here. I've come to find out that putting the indoor antenna in that area is too close to the outdoor antenna. And these walls are thin, the ceiling's thin, like it's a camper. It's all thin walls and everything. When those antennas are that close, it causes the device to go into oscillation mode. And so that's going to reduce your boosted speed. It's going to just slow everything down. And it's really at that point not even usable for the HiBoost. It serves no purpose when it's in oscillating like that. So what I've had to do, I've ran the cable, so you can see the cable right there. I've ran it all along the back side of this. I've ran the cable all the way down to here. I've drilled a hole in this piece of wood. This is just a random little compartment with a bunch of miscellaneous items in it. And this is the indoor antenna. I've placed this the furthest away from the outdoor antenna as far as possible. And I even have it buried in this little cubby right here to kind of create more of a barrier. And that seems to be the key to get it to go out of oscillation mode and to get the best results for your boosted phone service using the HiBoost. And now is the big test. Does this actually work? And from my experience, and after all the adjustments that I did, it does work. And I'm actually pleasantly surprised at how well this works. So here's my phone service right now. I have 1 bar of LTE, kind of goes in between 1 and 2 bars. I'm gonna plug her on in. And when it has power, the green light will pop on. And typically this pulls about 24 to 25 watts, roughly. It does take a second for it to get kind of turned on and pick up the signal and everything. And I mean, right away, I already have a little bit difference of signal here. I now have 3 bars of phone service. And what I've noticed as well is when I turn on my mobile hotspot device, which is what I use to access high-speed internet and everything out in the middle of nowhere most of the time. As long as I have phone service, I can use that. And I've noticed not only does it boost cell phone signal, it also boosts like my mobile hotspot, which runs off cell phone signal, but it makes a really big difference with the mobile hotspot. It's essentially mobile Wi-Fi, so you're getting better internet speed. In places where I basically had 1 bar to no service at all, I'm now getting reliable phone service. So if you're an RVer, a van lifer, or someone who just wants good, reliable phone service in remote areas, the HiBoost 3.0 RV Max is absolutely worth it. It's made my travel day smoother and my remote work way more reliable. I'll drop the link to the product in the description. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and remember to keep it wild.